What's up, Average Dad fans? Welcome back to another video, and today I am going to tell you all about the full specifications of the new Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Yes, mine will be delivered in 1 week, but I wanted to get you as excited as I am about the device, because I firmly believe that the 14 Ultra will overtake the Oppo Find X7 Ultra and the Samsung S24 Ultra to be number 1 in the Average Dad ranking. Let's go! Now, there's a few areas specifically that the Xiaomi 14 Ultra outperforms the other two devices. Number 1 of which being the display. The 14 Ultra has a 6.73 inch 120Hz display. Nothing new there. The other two have a 120Hz display. But where the Xiaomi takes advantage is with its pixel density, sharpness and resolution. The 14 Ultra is 1440 by 3200, a slightly better resolution than the S24 Ultra. It's also 523 ppi compared to the 505 ppi. Now, don't get me wrong, that ain't a big difference. Your eyes will definitely not notice the difference, but on paper, the Xiaomi is sharper. It should also be noticed that the Xiaomi goes to a 3000 nits peak brightness and the Galaxy only does 2600. However, the Oppo goes to 5000 nits, which is just mind-blowing. So display-wise, while the Xiaomi 14 Ultra isn't smashing the competition, it's certainly on a par, if not slightly better, if you pixel peep and look at the numbers. Where things do drastically improve for me is with the cameras. Now, when it comes to the cameras, I think before I talk about the specs, it's important to understand a couple of key things. Number 1, megapixels don't mean everything. Number 2, the lower the F number is, the more light it can bring in and the larger the sensor. So now that we've got that out the way, between the Samsung and the Xiaomi 14 Ultra, every single one of the Xiaomi sensors is bigger by at least 2x. Yes, you heard me correctly. While the megapixels might be lower on the main lens, with Samsung you're getting 200 megapixels, with the Xiaomi you're only getting 50. Remember what I said, megapixels don't mean everything. Sensor wise, the main camera on the Xiaomi is a 1-inch type sensor, and the Samsung is a 1/1.3. So again, double the size as far as sensors. You'll need to work out the maths, but you're just going to have to take my word on it. And in regards to the f-stop, f1.8 on the Samsung and f1.6. So again, brighter on the Xiaomi. Now for the rest of the lenses, it still doesn't come close. Ultra wide, 50 megapixels, f/1.8 on the Xiaomi. On the Samsung, 12 megapixels, f/2.2. So smaller sensor, less light, way less megapixels. Both cameras share the same 3 times and 5 times optical zoom. In fact, the Xiaomi's 3.2 times optical, both at 50 megapixels. While the 5 times zoom is comparable in megapixels, it's a 1/2.5 inch sensor with an f2.5 times aperture. Now, to be clear, on a zoom lens, that is a fantastic sensor size and great ability to bring in so much light. When it comes to zoom, because by the very nature of zooming, it's hard to bring in light from such a distant subject, but with this sensor size, I'm expecting some really amazing zoom shots. And with the Samsung being f/3.4, yeah, again, sensors wise, much superior on the Xiaomi. So that's the photography on paper, specs wise, taken care of. One thing I will say is Samsung has become one of the best, along with Google and Apple, at the photo processing. So I will be one of the first to sit here and say that what you see on paper will not always convert to what you see in real life because of post-processing and all that computer tomfoolery that goes on. However, Xiaomi haven't exactly been slouches when it comes to processing, unlike Honor sometimes. Now, as far as video capabilities, everything I just said about sensor sizes and light capturing converts to video as well. It's 120 frames per second at 4K on the rear lenses. Hallelujah. Getting slow motion shots for B-roll or any other scenario and being able to film that original footage at 120 frames per second just makes it buttery smooth and such a dream to get some really good slow-mo B-roll. And if you are inclined to use 8K, you've got 24 FPS and 30 frames per second. And for you selfie lovers, for one of the first times with Chinese devices, out the box, not with an update, you are getting 4K 30 and 60 frames per second on that selfie camera recording. Thank goodness. For a long time, Chinese manufacturers just seem to neglect that. And another point I want to mention about the selfie camera, it's a 32 megapixel lens with an f/2.0 sensor or aperture. That's one of the best selfie on paper that I've seen. So again, expecting big things from that. Now, other specs that may concern you. Storage, UFS 4.0. RAM, DDR5X. Internals, Android 14 with Hyper OS, which for my money is now the second best Android skin after Samsung's One UI. Battery, 5000 mAh, the same as the Samsung, but 90 watts wire charging and a mind-blowing 80 watts wireless charging. Now, you will have to buy the proprietary wireless charger for that, but in all your other fast wireless chargers that go 50 watts or 40 watts, the Xiaomi will charge at those respective speeds. And for context, that wireless charging is faster by almost double than what the Samsung charges wired. And because the Xiaomi is global, connectivity-wise, you're getting full 5G support across all of the UK and Europe on all networks, full 4G and 3G as well, in case you live in a rural part of the planet that doesn't have 5G nowadays. You're also going to get the latest and greatest Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth 5.4 on board. Every single spec, and in fairness to Samsung as well, every single internal spec is the latest and greatest and fastest, just like the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 chip and the 750 GPU from Adreno. It's going to be an absolute powerhouse, and I am, as hopefully you can tell, super excited about it. Now, the last thing I just want to leave you on is price and how to buy the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. I had a few comments on my last Xiaomi video asking where can you buy. Well, I'll leave the link to the Xiaomi global website in the description, but I will also leave a link to Amazon. Yes, Amazon have the 14 Ultra for sale with £100 off just now. So if you're not interested in getting a free tablet or photography kit, go ahead and shop on Amazon, ship next week. But right now, Xiaomi Global have the 14 Ultra, the photography kit, the Xiaomi Pad 6, all in a bundle for £1,249, with shipping starting next week. Either way, you can't go wrong. And also either way, it's a 0.5 terabyte of storage on the device with 16 gigabytes of RAM, and for that equivalent, with the Samsung, you're £100 more expensive. So, that was the initial specifications of the Xiaomi 14 Ultra. Everything I've talked about is just on paper just now. Until I get it in my hands and I can give you the full, honest first impressions, we're just going to have to wait and see how it delivers. The one thing I have said, and I will promise to be doing, is a full 45-minute long Schneider cut in-depth comparison between the Oppo Find X7 Ultra, which I've still got kicking about here, and the S24 Ultra. I'll be comparing these with the Xiaomi 14 Ultra as in-depth as possible. So if you have any questions or anything you want me to show off in that comparison video, let me know in the comments below, because hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll have the 14 Ultra next week, which means I can do that comparison in the next couple of weeks. If you've enjoyed this video, smash the like button. If you want to see more content on the phones I've just mentioned or other future Vivo X Fold 3 phones, smash subscribe. And until next time,